Take away the excuses. Then what is left? What is the reason for you not to try your best now? People keep talking about life is a race, life is a marathon. I say life is a journey. It begins the day you're born and the day you die.
What is the abundance mindset?
Is to look at anything and look at the opportunities within it. When you become the leader, you cannot let anybody see that sweat or the tear or the problem on your face. You cannot, because if you do, then the panic sets in.
What is the high performance mindset?
I believe that high performance mindset.
Furqan Athar is the moonshot thinker and co-founder at Zoe Clinic. In this episode, we spoke about the health pillars for you living a longer, healthier, active life. We spoke about movement, we spoke about recovery, we spoke about nutrition, supplements, stress management, sleep, and we also spoke about why does failure teaches you more than success does. Alright, before we kick off with today's episode, if you can do me the small favor and subscribe to this channel, I'll truly appreciate it and it'll help me bring you more and more high performance to the show. This is the High Performance Mindset and today's guest is Furqan Athar. Enjoy this episode. Furqan, let's do this.
Yep.
First question is, what is the abundance mindset?
Abundance mindset, for me at least, because everybody would have their own opinion of this, is to look at anything and look at the opportunities within it. As Peter Diamandis said, that the world's biggest problems are the world's biggest opportunities. So you look at any other problem that has existed in the world and you understand that it's only there because nobody has come up with a solution as yet. And as soon as somebody comes up with a solution, it becomes something that you can bank on and then commercially viable, and then you build upon that, right? So for every problem, there is a savior or a solver. So go towards that, gravitate towards the tough, because then you will be the solution provider. You won't be following the norm.
And how is that different to having a scarcity mindset?
Fear. What are you led by? Are you led by the fear exhilarates you or the fear makes you apprehensive, right? A boxer or most of the famous people who step into the ring or do competitive sport, they say that they have a little fear inside them. So that keeps them awake, that keeps them sharp. They're not complacent. So if you use that fear to exhilarate you, to excite you, to motivate you, then that becomes the instigator, right? And that is the whole idea, that always have a challenge in front of you and take that in a positive way.
How does having a scarcity mindset affect you negatively?
There are many ways physiologically. I mean, from the point of view of your endocrine system, your mental state, cortisol, stress levels goes up, your blood pressure. So there are things which you think are micro effects, but they all pile up, right? So when you have a scarcity mindset, fear is or not even just fear, the trigger of fear causes a panic, right? And that panic then becomes your habit. That becomes your comfort level. And that's where the danger comes in, that do you take fear to be the first place to go to and then use that as a bottleneck, as a stopper to move on, right? When you see a lion, it's a basic flight or fright. Do you see a lion and get frozen? Or do you muster the strength to run away? Only your father who ran away or grandfather is the reason why you're here. Maybe we have some good genes in us.
Honestly, I remember the first time I was watching Tom Bilyeu and Peter Diamandis, and he mentioned about abundance, and I was like, this is like the biggest, treasure a person can have. Because same situation, having an abundance mindset, the way you would look at it is completely different. You'd look at an obstacle like it's the end of the world versus this is just a stepping stone and we've came so far, and just like how we've overcame so much, this will be just another, obstacle we're gonna, as he calls it, what was the term? Boundary conditions.
Yeah. So basically the idea is that if you have an abundance mindset, then there is a solution. You've not gotten to it. Somebody will, might as well be you, right? Now, does that guarantee success? No, it doesn't. You don't know. There are 1 in an 8 billion Elon Musk or 1 in 8 billion Peter Diamandis or Tom Bilyeu or people like that. That doesn't mean that you don't stop trying, because somebody's going to get it. Somebody's going to get there. Why not you? Now, if you are not successful in the process, then it is you've lived your life being positive, being the best version of yourself. And that's all it is. Be the best version of yourself. Why talk about the inevitable, right? I mean, you can drown in a sea without flailing, or you can fight your way and see how far you go. So at least that journey will be exciting enough.
At least don't have it in your
Psyche.
in your conscious that there was an opportunity that you did not take.
Yeah.
Or there was a stone that you did not,
Yeah.
lift.
There are a lot of things that abundance mindset people say that I listen to it and I completely get excited by, like for example they might say that the day before something is considered a breakthrough success, it's a crazy idea. And I love that saying. Everybody tells me on a daily basis whatever I do is crazy. And then tomorrow somebody will say, dude, what a great idea. It's like, no, it wasn't. Or they say that you're an overnight success after 11 years. Like nobody knows what you were going through. I remember when I heard one of these comments, there was a famous group that I know. I was listening to the album and I said, my God, what an amazing first album. Because that was the first album I heard of them. Then I found out that it was their fourth album and they had been doing it for, guess what, 11 years. And I said, now I get it,
But from your own experience, what were the, let's say, achievements that some people, at least around you, felt that, yeah, there's no way you can pull this off, Furqan?
I don't take it personally. So, any achievement that I might have are not personally my achievements. It's a team of people. Mm-hmm. But I always talk about the category that you go for, right? You might want to develop a small company which is either unique, it has its own USP. So set some goals. What do you want to do? Do you want to set up a boutique company? Okay, what do you want to do within it? I want to do something different. I want to have a culture of openness. I want to create an environment in which people can work from home. I want to create an environment in which there are no hierarchies. I want to create an environment in which people are not inhibited. Maybe they can wear whatever they want, pajamas to work in the morning, whatever it might be. Do something different that exhilarates you, saying that I put my stamp, right? It could be something small. Everybody will not be a success. They might be over 50,000 grocers right now in the city of Dubai alone. Every one of them has a chance to make their workplace something exciting that they are proud of. Put your signature. You will eventually sell the same bread and butter.
What's the benefit of doing that?
To live your life in a way that you think is the best version of yourself, to make sure that you have put your stamp on your life. You've shown leadership in whatever you could, right?
No,
you have a choice of being led or leading.
In terms of environment, it's clear you really care about the environment in the organization.
Yeah, so there are some people who maybe you can say are destined or maybe they prefer being led, and there are some people who are leaders. So there is a certain responsibility. Somebody's got to look up, somebody's got to be looking down and taking care of those people. Somebody's got to be the feeder, somebody's got to be fed, right? So what responsibility do you think you are embarking on in life? Do you think that you have the ability to be able to take on more and be responsible for other people as well? So people like that then say, you know what, to be able to create my environment, my way of life, my methodology, I will have to put up my hand first and say, okay, I'm accountable, I'm responsible, and I relish in that. Even if you fail, so what? So I know that a lot of the times I might not succeed, but I relish in that place where people are looking up to me saying that he's gonna make it work.
Why do you care about the culture being at work, being more relaxed, more comfortable? The person can work from home or can come to the office. They can dress how they like, giving that flexibility, no hierarchy. Why do you care about all of this?
Conformity is the killer of creativity, right? In my mind, the fact that a lot of people say that they are not what they could be because of the way they are every day. Take the inhibitions away from them, take the excuses away from people to try and be whatever they can be. Don't let the weak, pathetic excuses be the walking stick, right? And people do that. Oh, it took so long for me to get to work. That's why I got to work tired. Everybody is not meant to take that journey as a positive sign, right? There are two ways to feel stress: positive stress and negative. Some people cannot take that inhibition away from them and say, okay, I'm gonna give you an environment that is more viable for you. Be more productive if you can. What excuse do you have now? And I do that with my kids, my cousins, my nephews, my friends, my colleagues every day. That okay, take away the excuses. Then what is left? What is the reason for you not to try your best now?
That's a very adaptive way of thinking.
You've got to lead first of all. When people, like for example, my wife tells me every day that I look at you, I cannot tell what your day was like. I know that you might have a big issue pending right now. I can hear from the one-sided calls that I know that you're in problem. But when you finish that call and you look down at your daughter or to me, there is no difference, right? And you've got to be that person who says that okay, I took the challenge on. I'm the one who put myself in this position. Who am I going to blame? Who am I going to go and scream at and say, oh God, where are you? Well, he's got better things to do maybe. And he didn't ask you to take on that challenge. So figure it out.
And usually before, let's say once you end the call or before you come back home or enter the house,
yeah,
what do you tell yourself to be, in a good mood?
Oh,
so you don't pass on that negative day, to your family.
I cannot be negative when I enter home because I am, I call my home my hyperbaric chamber. I'm literally going into a place to get oxygen. I call my daughter my oxygen, literally. So I cannot breathe her and toxicity at the same time. So she's like, she loves being carried by me. She wakes up in the morning and in 5 seconds, she's in my arms. Until I don't go to work, I don't leave her. And when I come back, a hug from her or from my wife literally is everything that I require in a day. So you take these little pockets and islands of pleasure and you say, this is the moment that I need to, maximize this. Any amount of problem or guilt that I do have is only because if I can't be the best version of myself for them. Okay, that's my biggest worry. That when they see the worry on me, then it worries them. So when you become the leader, you cannot let anybody see that sweat of tear, okay, or that sweat or the tear or the problem on your face. You cannot. Because if you do, then the panic sets in, right? So,
but nowadays there's a lot of this talk, men should be vulnerable, men should share more.
We are. Right now, that's what we're doing.
What is your take on that?
I agree. I'm an old school thinker in this aspect, very old school. And I believe that there is nobody else to blame. And if somebody punches you, you clench your jaws, you fix yourself, you get up again and say, yeah, I took a hit. I'm okay. I need to move on. Right? My only problem is that when people make a bigger deal of it than it is, right? So for example, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a mind reader, but I'll tell you a very simple example. When I pinch you right now, the pain that you will feel will be immediate and will be deep and will be hurtful. But as time progresses, that pain reduces, right? Why is the mind not the same way? Our mind is the same way. The trauma that we feel when our parents die or when something hurtful happens is very traumatic at that moment. But then that appeases as time progresses. And that's the way evolution has made us. So we should bank on that. Evolution has given this beautiful time lapse ability, right? We should use that. When people don't and they bring back those traumas, I sometimes wonder if it is the best thing. It might be for some people, but then if you are in an abundance mindset, it's a different thing altogether. We have something called within our the business that we are in, Zoe, which is a longevity clinic, which is preventative health point of view. We have a mind pillar as well, that you need to focus on your mind. So we say the mind is broken up into 3 ways to look at it. One is when you've come from a place of trauma. If you've come from a background of trauma, then that has affected you deeply, and in your psychosis that has set in, and now has become the base on which everything else been built up. That might be trauma when you were young. It could be someone molesting or doing something untoward to you, physical abuse. It might be abandonment. It might be serious issues, and then everything builds upon that. So you've got the base, the foundation of the building that is bad. If that is not the case and your trauma, so you need to go see a therapist and you need to correct that problem because you need to learn to love yourself. That's a real issue. Second is, if you don't have any traumas, then you have current day problems. So that could be stress. Okay, stress could be coming from different methodologies, financial, family, insecurities, whatever. So the daily stresses really are something that you need to handle better. They can't change. You just need to learn how to cope with them. And if you don't have the backdrop of trauma or the current day problem of stress, then you have what is called a future forward approach. That okay, what version of Furqan do I want to be 2 years from now? Do I want to give time to my family? If I finish off this business, I know I'll do that. Do I want to sell my business? Do I want to be more balanced in my life? Do I want to focus on my health and my gym? Whatever it might be. So there are these three ways to look at your mind: your trauma, your current stress issues, and then the future forward approach.
Beautiful. Yeah, I really think it's the man's responsibility to take care of their mental health, because otherwise that will feed into the family and how you treat your wife or how you're going to treat your kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's your responsibility to take care of yourself.
I think we were just talking before the podcast started that we don't spend enough time with ourselves. And if we do, then we need to become self-critical. When a situation happens, you're human, you might overreact. Okay, the overreaction might be anger, it might be fear, it might be lashing out, it might be a selfish decision, it might be whatever. But once that moment passes and you're on an evening walk with yourself, okay, when I walk in the night, I'm having a conversation with another version of myself which is somewhere over here looking down at me and having a proper two-way conversation with me, saying that, dude, you didn't handle that right. Yeah, but I wasn't given a choice. Yeah, but that person didn't know. He doesn't know the stress on you. Yeah, but look at the things I have. How's that problem? So if you are honest enough with yourself, you will come to a conclusion where, there has to be a two-way look on the same issue.
Tell me about moonshot thinking.
That's way out there, huh? So, if you, again, this is all my version of things, first of all, keep in mind, but they say that I make a joke that when Martin Luther King said, I have a dream, people didn't ask him, where is the dream? What are the details? How many people will be there? When is the exact date it will happen? Where, what, why, how? And he said, I don't know, I have a vision, I have a dream, and he gave a certain level of, so that's a vision. But when you talk about a moonshot, that's more precise. When you are training something to the moon, you'd better have the right trajectory, the right thrust, the right temperature, the right angle, the right time, the right fuel, the right everything. So you'd better make sure that everything is lined up, and then you'd better give it your best shot and keep trying and trying and trying till you get there. So it's a long-term vision of things, but in a more precise way. Right, so for me, moonshot is a target that I set myself, which I know I will not achieve tomorrow or day after. It's a long-term vision. I'd better be precise, I'd better be accurate, I'd better correct myself along the way, and I'd better be sure that I'm in it for the long term. You're an endurance athlete. People keep talking about life is a race, life is a marathon, life is this. I say life is a journey. It begins the day you're born and the day you die. Right, in between is a journey. It will have its ups and downs. When it's up, don't go to Vegas and burn it out. When it's down, don't jump from a building. Learn to embrace every aspect of life, good and bad. And moonshot vision sort of encapsulates all of the trials and tribulations and successes, and then gives you just a path to go on.
Nice. And how do you apply moonshot thinking to your clinic, to Zoe?
So for me, because I'm on a moonshot vision, so when someone says, dude, why did you set up this is because I knew that there was something needed in the market. I'm not wanting to do something that is being done by everybody. So, and then you need to hone it. You need to correct it. Every day I talk to new people. I must meet 5 to 10 new people a day. And I'm open to them. I want two-way feedback on the concept, on the business, on the specialist that I'm talking to them about, anything at all. Because that helps me hone my plan. Literally, every day I have a moment in which I sort of keep giving presentations to my team. And they keep looking at me and think, why do you keep giving the same presentation? Because I said, when I'm giving the presentation, I'm either honing my skill and getting better at it, or while I'm hearing myself, I said, no, you schmuck, that doesn't sound right. What about doing it this way? So while I have people in front of me, I'm actually giving the presentation to myself. So, you sort of go through a methodology where you keep improving what you're doing. And it's very important to self-critique and improve along the way, because no amount of work done on day 1 and on day 100 would be the same. It will have iteration, then reiteration, then in the end, it should not look like what it was the day 1, but the perseverance should be the same. Right? There's two things. Perseverance and curiosity are the two things that lead you.
And how do you maintain that?
That comes from inner. Like I was telling you before, that I hear podcast. I look for what you could say influences. Okay, I look for people that feed my requirement, which would be vision. It would be ideas. It would be people who want to similar trials and tribulations, and I want to learn from them. So a lot of my ideas and my whatever might come to my mind is because of the kind of people I listen to. It just makes me stronger. When I hear that the head of Hyundai faced so many problems and he went back again and again, and you have a fear of failing in your business and going back to zero. If one of the biggest corporations in the world, he made his business and then went back to broke 5 times, you say, hell, I'm on my first one as yet. I haven't gone broke as yet, so I've got 4 more lives.
Why does failure teach you more than success?
Because failure is just a step towards success. Every step that you take that you did not succeed is just a lesson to go towards the success. How many versions of the light bulb were done by Edison before he got to the real one? Or how many formulas that Einstein had to do between the theory of relativity and the actual theoretical, what you could call, what do they call it? They call it something. The confirmation of somebody else on it was about 10 to 15 years that he had to keep telling people what he's saying is right. So you have to spend a lot of time trying to make sure that whatever you're saying is validatable.
And I think it's very important for you to always have the mindset that whatever efforts that I've put in before is just building blocks towards my goal. Because easily your mind can go negative direction and start saying, oh, we wasted, or we got this wrong, we failed, that's it. Or you can say, just like Edison, Ahmed, try number 500. Hopefully I'll get it at the try 501. Till you get to your 1000.
I had a sales business. So I used to tell my staff that, let's say that how long does it take for you to give a demo? They say 5 minutes. I said, okay. So let's say you do 10 demos in an hour, that's 50 minutes, and you take a 10-minute break. How many have you done? 10 demos, 1 hour. Okay. How many of those demos might be successful? 1. So you can sell in 8 hours a day, you can sell 8 items. So you're at about 10 demos per hour with 1 success. Then I told them, you have to fail 9 times to succeed once. Do you get that? And they used to look at me saying, what the hell is he talking about? And I said, you have to be ready to bear the fact that after 9 successes will be the 1 success. After 9 failures.
Why are people not ready to fail?
I'll tell you. But what the staff used to do was that they'd look for the people in the crowd and say, no, that looks like a different nationality, and that person looks cheap, and that person has a child, and that person. So they used to do the job for themselves of trying to filter out who they think will be a success. So instead of rehearsing 9 times and getting to that 10th success, they used to do that in the fear that they don't want to fail. So they've done the pre-filtering. Now the person they talk to will be the one who will buy. And when that doesn't happen, it panics them more because they've taken out that rehearsal, right? I mean, if, for example, Quentin Tarantino looks at Al Pacino and says, take 27, Al Pacino doesn't go back and say, who are you talking to? Right? He says, yes, boss. And he does it. And a lot of the directors talk about a lot of actors talk about the fear and the worry they had to go through to make sure that they make the director happy. And that's one of the places where I've seen that unless the director is not happy, the takes keep happening. And those are people with serious egos, caravans and food requests and God knows what else. When they can listen to a director and keep going through iterations, that's not only because of the fear of the director, that's only because they've also people who look for self-perfection. So if they can do it, then why can't anybody else? And they have fragile egos.
Yeah, I think it's also important to know how to lead, but also to know how to follow. You always, all the content out there talks about how to become a great leader, but there's not much about how to be a good follower.
That's why the Founders Podcast, all people like Peter Diamandis or Tom Bilyeu or Huberman or Brian Johnson or Dr. Peter Attia, I listen to maybe 3-4 hours of podcast a day, and that's my guilt. That's my guilty pleasure. I could be literally waking up in the morning, going for my morning 45-minute walk, that's 45 minutes. Then 2 breaks for meals, that's 1.5 hours. Then maybe 1 hour in the evening for my walk. So that's about 2.5 hours. Then maybe 4 times a week from the gym. So about 3 hours minimum I give to the podcast. I should listen to music as well sometimes, but all my car journeys as well, I forgot to add them. And I listen to all of these people because for me to be able to relay, I consider the leader to be nothing but a conduit. He's like a pipe. Something comes in, something goes out. You hear something great, you pass on something great. And there have been a lot of great people who've been asked this question, that where did you get the thoughts from? Where do you get those ideas from? And the great ones always said, from the people before me and where I've learned. So you've got to listen to people. Nothing will come in out of the blue.
I saw you mentioned in one of the articles about becoming the CEO of your health. What does that mean?
Right now, it's a little... let me be a comedian for a moment. You go to the doctor and you say, doctor, I have pain here. Give me pill. And the doctor says, I know this pain. Here is the pill. Go take it for 5 days, twice a day, and come back after 5 days. And the guy walks out and he closes the door and he hopes to God that he won't have to come back. And the doctor on the other side of the door hopes to God that he doesn't come back. That is the current sick health system, right? You don't know what's going on inside your body. You go to the doctor and you completely rely on them. And when you come back, it's successful. You think they are gods. And when not, you scream and yell at them. You are not in control. But that's a general problem in life. I mean, right now, whether it is, the fact that we call people influencers, I sometimes cringe at that and say, really? And there are people who right now are not in control of the most important thing in their life, which is their health. How do you not know how important sleep is for you? When I tell people about sleep or about deep sleep or about REM or about simple things in life, they look at me and say, whoa, as if, I've just released to them some rocket science formula. And then I realize, my God, how underfed we are on basic things of life. How the sunlight is important for you. It could be anything at all. Whenever I talk, the people who've heard me before, they say, okay, he started off again. But the people who don't or haven't, I'm shocked at how much information is available and how people are deprived of the basic information. So I realize that a person like me, I'm never going to say anything new. I'm not that brilliant. Okay? But I know a lot of the information that is available out there, and it has been said by great people in a very articulated way. And all I'm doing is passing it on, saying that please take with me what I said and the hyperlink So you know where the source it came from. Maybe they are more trustable than me, but please believe me, what I'm saying is beneficial for you.
Since you mentioned sleep, it's one of the 7 pillars of health
Yeah.
of Zoe. So let's go through them. So one of them is sleep.
Yeah.
How
So-
important is sleep in terms of your longevity?
You have a phone?
Hmm.
Okay. Don't charge it tonight. Wake up in the morning, it's at 20%. Before you leave the house, you will have freaking palpitations. You will actually be thinking, oh my God, this important thing and that. You're not even focused, right? When the phone reaches 10%, what does your phone do?
It goes on safe mode.
It goes on safe mode. What does it do? It conserves energy, right? Your body is the same. You wake up in the morning at 20%, 30%. Your body says, oh my God, it starts having uneasiness because it's not ready. It's not charged up. And when it reaches 10%, which might be around 12 o'clock, 2 p.m., it says, okay, I'm going to slow down. I'm going to completely become grog because I know this idiot won't sleep till 8 p.m., 9 p.m. And I've got to be able to last till that long. Nobody has ever dropped dead, which means the body has a superior power of somehow lasting till the time that you go to sleep. So your sleep is your superpower and your sleep is your kryptonite. You don't have the superpower, you're not charged up. You're not charged up, it's your kryptonite, it could take you down.
How is it your superpower?
Because of the fact that if you're alive, I mean, every time you're sharp and you're cognizant and you're aware and you're hyper focused is how you will live life. Okay, just to feel the zest of life. You wake up in the morning and you want to run, you want to jump out of bed. Okay, even if you don't want to jump, at least you're not upset at yourself. Why the hell is it morning? Or the fact that you go for a morning walk and you feel like you have a dance in your step, or you've got 5-10 thoughts that you are important which pop in out of the blue. I think just the fact that when you wake up in the morning and you have energy, that energy is just coming in not because you've eaten something at midnight. It's not coming in because you took a coffee in the morning first thing. It's not coming in because you plugged yourself. It's coming in just because you slept. Imagine sleeping is giving you energy. So that's the
And
power.
also impacts your mood. It impacts how
Everything, man.
your outlook.
Everything.
Same issue. You look at it when you slept well versus you did not sleep well are completely different.
Completely different.
There was a study about this judge who...
Oh, yeah. Not judge. That's in general. They took a survey of judges, like courts, not one court across the US.
Wow.
Many states, many courts of pre-lunch and post-lunch, verdicts and indictments and all of that. And they were shocked at the results. I mean, a human being, because of sleep or because of nutrition, is a different beast, right? I mean, I always give an example to people. Have you seen a lion? You know what a lion does most of the time? Lions sleep 20 hours of the day. Average. Some might be even worse than that. 20 hours a day a lion sleeps. But watch him when he's awake. Right? So, the same way, conserve your energy and then go be the beast.
Yeah, no. And vice versa, when you're sleep deprived,
My
it
God.
affects your decisions, it affects your mood. And over, of course, not from one day that you have lack of sleep, accumulated. And then it affects how you start looking at your life. And over time, you feel there's something wrong with your life.
Yeah.
You think your life is bad. And sometimes, yes, people are going through
Serious problems. Yeah.
serious problems.
So-
They have a chronic, maybe issue in terms of depression.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, it's just lack of sleep.
But sleep could be medically diagnosed to be a problem of your nutrients, of your enzymes, or of the minerals in your body as well. They have found magnesium, lack of magnesium, and other things which might affect your sleep as well. However, people's problem with sleep are multitudes. It could be the tenure of the sleep, the quality of the sleep, the timing of the sleep, efficiency of the sleep. So, like for example, I'm the best example. I have a 15-month-old baby, and my daughter Ivy has got sleep problems like crazy. She's a breastfed baby. She's 15 months old, still being breastfed, and she sleeps in between me and my wife. And I have a very, very broken sleep in the night. If I show you my phone right now, you will say this is impossible to believe. How could you have gotten up 30 times in the night?
Power naps only.
Huh?
You're just having power naps
Yeah.
throughout the night.
I wake up 30 times in the night, and my wake up time was 1 hour 15 minutes. However, still last night, my sleep was 2 hours of deep sleep, 2 hours of REM sleep, and 3 hours of light sleep. My score was nearly 88%. Okay, I did not let that wake up become permanent. I embraced it. I know that my baby wakes up. I love her being beside me. So I've learned to embrace it and love it. It took some time, but I'm only giving this example because people sometimes think that these circumstances don't allow you to sleep. Okay, so you need to learn to embrace your circumstances and make the best of it, what you can. And when I look at my sleep score every morning, I literally judge myself based on how I performed. Literally. And I look at myself there. I might not look at my email inbox and outbox at the end of the day with as much judgment and critical look as much as I look at my sleep in the morning.
I think that is the right way, because I think, for my personal opinion, from maybe one of the main primal thing to take care of in terms of having good health
Yeah.
from everything else is sleep.
Yeah. I think we are two good examples. You are an endurance athlete who's in the prime of life and focused on yourself and optimizing as much as you can. And I am a old age guy. I'm 52.
Still young.
I am relatively, yeah. I've got 2 or 3 businesses. I've got 3 daughters. God knows how many people in my life. So for me, everything is all about balance. I've got to give sleep balance. I've got to give family balance. I've got to give work balance. I've got to give everything balance. Balance, balance, balance. I cannot afford to be optimal. Just cannot. So I know that if I become optimal in something, I will be letting something go. So I've learned to have the perfect balance and say that, okay, I know when to let go, when to move on. Right? So I think that for every kind of person, there is a solution available. They just need to focus on themselves and work on it and find out what is good for them.
We can now transition to the other pillar, which is recovery.
Yeah.
So sleep is connected to recovery. And, personally, for me, when I used to before I started doing endurance training, and I used to just do bodybuilding and focusing on mass, just with, eating well, having my whey protein and, training good, maybe I would have zinc and magnesium, help me sleep better, recover.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't see the impact of, let's say, bad recovery immediately. But when it came to endurance,
Yeah, of course.
immediately you see it.
Yeah.
Either your energy, or even worse, you won't have the ability to train because you're going to get injured.
Oh, yeah. I mean, again, comparing 2 big examples, for me, it's all about balance. So I can push my body to go to the gym and hypertrophy and really pound myself, break down my fiber and build muscle. And then I'll need a lot of recovery, right? So that takes time. So you can cancel both out and just do exercise, which basically keeps you active, but then you won't need recovery so much. Sleep is enough. However, in your position, in a lot of position of football players, professional athletes, recovery becomes a very important aspect of them getting back on track.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's a balance. If you live a life where you say, okay, competitiveness in the sport that I do, and being the best version that I can of it, something that I've chosen as a walk of my life. For that, I need to take care of the other side as well so that I can last longer. Then that's the balance. And then cold plunge, infrared, hyperbaric, anything that you do that helps create that balance where recovery becomes faster becomes a very, very important overall, circle of the longevity. Right? Because anything that you overdo, you actually end up harming yourself. I mean, this water glass, I could drown myself, literally. Medically, over drinking water is called drowning. You're not drowning in water, the water inside you drowns you. So anything that you have could be beneficial or detrimental. So yeah, recovery is very important.
And of course, coming with it hand in hand is supplements
Yeah.
and nutrition. From your own experience, was there a period, let's say, your nutrition was bad?
Oh, very bad. I'm uh, Pakistani, so Asian by background. My parents think that chili red powder should be in our blood. If not in our blood, then at least in every fiber of our food. My system says, you aren't born from this lot, so this is not for you. And
So you can't take
I
spicy.
when I used to tell my mother that my the time on the dinner table is less than the time on the other place if I eat that. And my mother would say, you're like an alien. So obviously, our bodies also dictate the way, right? Nutrition becomes important. The fact that some people take my wife loves carbs. She loves carbs. She eats grains, and she is like a hot model, right? And I look at her and I stare at her and say, my body can't take carbs. I take carbs and my glucose level shoots up, and forget that mentally I become like
Yeah,
I become
mental
drowsy,
fog,
right?
yes,
Mental fog, exactly.
because of the
So
incident
every
spike.
exactly. So the every body has a different way to metabolize food. So you need to understand your nutritional needs, right? That starts with the macro level that you need to survive. People all the time have this favorite topic about, oh, I can't lose weight, oh, I have too much weight, I have too less weight, I've tried this, I've tried that. But the law of thermodynamics, which says that opening weight plus what you eat minus what you burn has to be the closing. This is a physics, it's a math formula. A plus B minus C is equal to D. You can't change that. Maybe we need to and the opening weight and the closing weight is measured by a weighing scale. You can't change that. You can measure what you eat. Maybe you can't include air in it, but I believe air is not too much weight. So then it's the burning. That is the main question. That could be to do with your level of exercise, level of stress, level of metabolism problems, hormones, whatever. So we need to get that balance right so that we at least understand our macro level needs. In terms of micro, it's not just the quantity of food, but whether it is nourishing for you, whether it is giving you a good balance. People could live on McDonald's. People could live off just being carnivore. People could live just off fruit. There have been many diets in the world.
No one size
There is
fit
no
all.
one size fits all, and your body knows what it wants. There is bacteria in your gut who know exactly what they want, and they will make you, believe it or not, eventually get there if you really want to be healthy. So and then the minerals in your body need to be balanced, like you said, zinc, magnesium, and others as well. So between macro, micro, and minerals, these three, you just need to try to be at an 80-20 rule. 80% take care of yourself, right quantities, right materials. Give yourself that 20% leeway because it won't harm you. Okay. Bodybuilders who put on a lot of weight for the gym, for their bodybuilding competitions, they tend to lose. Somebody who's 250 pound can easily lose 20 pounds within the next couple of months. That's 10 kilos of weight if you really let go, because they say if you don't use it, you lose it, right? And same is the case with somebody who might be very thin because he's going through a lot of stress, or he's not had a chance to have a proper meal, work pressure. He will eventually get back on track and have 2-3 meals a day. So you just need to find the right balance for you.
And in terms of regeneration, what type of therapies are you guys providing right now? Do you provide anything?
Yeah, so regeneration is basically using the nutrients and the I don't know whether I should call them chemically made, but substances which have been found to be useful to the body and having concentrations of them in your system. So peptides are basically branch of amino acids. They are a combination of single or compounded amino acids that go into your body and know where to attack. And they really help improve a lot of things. And these have been clinically proven and tested. Other than that, they are not just peptides, they are exosomes, they are PRP therapies. Eventually, you will get to the point of stem cells as well. Stem cells itself is a more, you can use the word controversial, but I'd rather use the word not very deeply tested area right now. If you want to be on the edge, then stem cells are really something which are very beneficial, proven in some cases, not proven in others, but we do provide some level of regeneration. But please remember that uh, regeneration is of two levels. One is where you have a problem, you need to resolve that problem. For example, if somebody comes to us with a frozen shoulder, right, injection of stem cells in it would really help. Or if you have completely losing hair, PRP therapy would help. So those are specific things. But other than that, optimizing your own body with whatever nutrients it can naturally absorb is the best, so that you get your baseline up. On top of that baseline, please build, put ice cream, sorry, put the cream on the cake as much as you want, but get the cake layer right first, then build on it. If you put nitrogen in a car, okay, and don't turn it on and say run now, it won't run, right? So you'd better get the car to the fourth gear, fifth gear level, and then put nitro fuel and then watch it fly.
And in terms of, you provide also IV therapy. What
Yeah.
are the benefits?
IV is just intravenous. So ultimately, whether it is peptides or other nootropics that can be administered, because it's just about getting a concentrate amount. And when you are doing it intravenous, then the concentration level is better, the absorption is better. It doesn't have to go through your stomach, gut, and then be absorbed. Some of it might, the efficacy might be lost out. So IV is just a concentrated and a sure, faster way of getting through. Just to be able to get through a summary, Zoe is a, like I told you, a longevity clinic which takes care of your health from the seven pillars, because we believe that, you know, the seven pillars might for us be movement, which is how you move, nutrition is what you eat, how you sleep, and your supplements. Those are the four key pillars. And then your mindset and basically aesthetics, your body, and then the regeneration are the add-ons that we offer.
And I like how it's all inclusive approach, rather than taking each element separately.
Yeah, it's a synergistic approach, right? I mean, my biggest problem in life for 4 years on was, first of all, I only built this business because of that abundance mindset. The second part of it is called the curiosity mindset. It's like you go to the gym and you see a lot of gym pros and they are exercising and all of that. And the gym guy says, I'm going to destroy you. And you say, yeah, but do you know what I need to eat? He'll just make up some crap based on whatever protein he knows. He doesn't understand your blood or your needs or your inflammation and your intolerance, right? And you go to a dietitian, she'll just talk about keto and paleo and blah blah blah. And then you go into the supplement company, they'll just give you vitamin, which is one pill which has 40 things in it. God knows how they stuff 40 ingredients into one small pill, and they're very generic, right? Or you go to a aesthetic company and they talk about whatever Botox or fillers or whatever they can do, but they're all in their own silos, right? Imagine if you go to a clinic where they say that, okay, I'm going to get your blood test done, because that's who you actually are. What's inside you is who you are. What's inside you is based on three layers. One is your DNA, what you were born with. That's what's called your predisposition. So you get the genomics done. Your genomics will tell you what is your propensity, what are your predispositions. From there on that, you build your blood test and you find out what your current situation is. And on the third layer on top of it is a questionnaire that we fill, so that people understand what do they think of themselves. So your blood test who you are, and the questionnaire is who you think you are. So then we start making a program based on what your actual needs are, and then incorporating all of these elements of the seven pillars of Zoe into the program, so that we give you a balanced view of life.
Yeah, and I think it's very important to highlight the part of a customized program, because we're all different. We could be in the same
Needs
house.
are different, yeah.
You know, our conditions are different. Blood type is different, you know, and accordingly, our levels will be different. There's no one size fit all. So having this customized program is the most efficient way to go about
I
it.
think customization word or personalized is not just because you're different, it's because what mindset are you in right now? You want to be an endurance athlete, so you might have a triathlon coming up. You don't want to prepare for that. So that becomes the target, and the 12 weeks before that is prep. You might have a summer vacation coming up and you say, okay, I need to recover, I overate, or whatever. You might say, I'm going into a stressful period of launching a company, an IPO, I need a particular program. So even within you, there are different programs. Even you are not the same person for 12 months of the year.
True.
Right? So I go through this all the time. I use myself like a guinea pig for my company. I think about 3-4 months ago, I took on ipamorelin, which is a peptide, and I had it for 6 weeks, and I increased my weight literally half a kilo, 1 kilo every week, to the point where I reached my highest of 74 kilos, and I look bulked up. Not just because of the fact that I put on a lot of muscle, but I was carrying a lot of water, and I had carbs, and they were really making my muscle look big. And I was doing full stack of all the machines. And then after 3 months, I got tired of it. I said, this weight is not sitting on me. I'm feeling like I'm not sharp, because I always believe that when I'm hungry, my mind works better. I'm a 2 meal a day guy maximum, and I like it. So I left that program, and my weight dropped down immediately. I already went down to 68 point something. I lost 6 kilos in maybe a month and a half, right?
But you have more mental clarity.
But I have more mental clarity, and it did not affect my lifting ability. Then I realized, shit, because that's based on strength. So I still had the strength required, because I had put my mindset to be able to lift that weight. I might not be able to do it for long term as I would have done if I had a lot of carbs in me, but I'm still okay. So you go through these different phases in life and let yourself go on that journey. That's what I was telling you, that the journey is up and down. So embrace when you feel on the top and you want to push yourself, and don't be too hard on yourself when you are not feeling at the top of the world.
Okay. And now, Furqan, gonna ask you the question of the show. So from your point of view, what is the high performance mindset?
I believe that high performance mindset and abundance mindset and curiosity mindset are all sort of flavors of the same pushing yourself mindset. It's like, are you the person who wants to perform at their optimum? Do you have that ability that when a problem comes your way, you're going to take that as a positive? Do you look at an opportunity and you want to get on top of it? Do you look at any situation and say that I'm going to find my way out of it, right? So high performance mindset for me is any solution thinking person who just looks at something and says that I'm not going to let this get on top of me. I'm going to take this to basically push my performance.
Thank you so much for today.
Thank you very much.
It was
a pleasure being here.
I enjoyed every bit of it.
Yeah, likewise. Take care, sir. Bye.
Amazing.